Dan Illman, Mike Beer, time for the Grade 3 Matchmaker at Monmouth on Saturday, part of a quality Haskell undercard. It's race number 9, mile and an eighth on the turf for fillies and mares. And as we take a look at this field, it's no surprise that Chad Brown sends in several good ones. He's got 3.
Yeah, I mean, any graded stakes race that you run on the East Coast, he's going to be well represented, not only in New York, but it almost feels like, particularly at Monmouth, Dan, he sends horses over here. It feels like they all win.
Wholebodemeister is the pace setter, according to the Timeform U.S. pace projector. She'll be trying turf for the first time. Her dam was multiple stakes placed on turf. She does have some speed, but I have a feeling that the number 5, Flighty Lady, is going to show some speed after that much improved pace setting try last time.
Yeah, you knew she was going to probably show speed last time, going a little bit longer. I wonder if they've now settled on that as her running style. It's certainly possible. Wholebodemeister, as far as she's concerned, she has enough turf pedigree to handle the switch, but she's got to be a lot better on this surface than she is on dirt.
It's been a star-crossed career for the number 1 Wholebodemeister. After pulling off a 52-1 upset in the Grade 2 Devona Dale, she was privately purchased and sent to Todd Pletcher. And she never got a chance to race for Todd. She had a very serious injury that cost her a year. She's returned from Michelle Hemingway, and she's run 3 races. One of them, the Lady's Secret, she just didn't. She reared up in the gate, she acted up, then she broke, and just got caught up in a duel. I think she's a little bit better than she looks on paper, but you're right. She's got to be a lot better here.
Yeah, and again, she has pedigree to handle this surface, but man, she's going to have to take a huge step forward.
Number 2 is Lemista, and Lemista's coming out of that Eatontown race that featured a glacial pace up front, and Lemista didn't break very well, and then she was sort of raided back down towards the inside. She tried to cut the corner into the stretch, and she ran on okay to finish 3rd. The trip certainly worked against her. She's seeking her first win in North America. I talked to Chad earlier, and he's hoping he can Flavian Pratt can keep her closer this time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of trip she can work out. She obviously has a pretty significant excuse for the Eatontown. I thought, going back and looking at the bogey off the layoff, I thought they were purely prepping her that day. I didn't think you got her best race or even close to it that day. So I do think that she's a major player in here, Dan. I guess my biggest problem with her is I didn't really like any of her 3 races last year, and I didn't really want to go to her at a short price in here.
Tough to like the 3 Office Etiquette, even at a humongous price. She was beaten in a maiden claimer last time out, and she's going to try to win her maiden in this race.
Yeah, I don't know why they entered her in this race. It feels like a race she can't possibly win.
Lady Rockstar is a daughter of Frankel. Trainer Brendan Walsh told me the Connections thought very highly of her overseas, even though she only won once from 7 starts. But Walsh told me she really matured over the winter. 2 for 2 in North America, including this one going 1.25 miles and a second level allowance, and she finished it off strongly.
I mean, I like both of her races since she got over here. You know, obviously, maybe she was a disappointment overseas. They did try to go a little bit longer with her over there, which wasn't a problem last time at Belmont Park. I don't know, Dan. I think she's a really interesting horse in here. Would I take the 3-1 morning line? Probably not, but she's run well in her last 2 starts.
Flighty Lady, the number 5, surprised a lot of folks when finishing a good 3rd in the Grade 1 New York. She was 51-1 that day, and a lot of folks thought she was in as a rabbit. Maybe she was. Chad Brown told me she was hoping she could give that field some pace and hopefully last for a minor award. She did both. Chad's very surprised at how well she dug in through the stretch. Now, maybe it was just simply a situation where she set such an easy pace that she had to run well for 3rd, but maybe she's improving. Chad thinks that maybe he's figured out what she likes to do, and when I asked him what that is it go to the lead? He said, yeah, unless someone else really wants it.
Okay, well then I guess they're going to try to put her on the lead here. Listen, I'll give her the credit she deserves for her effort in the New York. It is worth pointing out that they were crawling on the early lead in there. Personally, I have to look at her as if she just took advantage last time and ran the race of her life. I think things will be a little bit different for her here. And I'll be even more against her if she takes money in here, which seems possible.
Fluffy Socks, graded stakes winner at 2, graded stakes winner at 3, graded stakes placed at 4. Yeah. Just missed behind Bleecker Street, ran well 2 starts back in the Modesty, and another horse that had an excuse in the Eatontown. It was a race where there was no pace, and she tried to get into it with a big, wide move into the stretch, and she understandably flattened out. That was the race we saw Princess Grace just not fire after being wrangled back from off of it. She bounced back and she won the penny at Parks with a much better figure.
It's very true. I mean, if nothing else, Fluffy Socks is a super underrated horse. Another horse of Chad's that tends to show up and run well every time. Chad tends to really spot her well also. I can't say I'm a huge fan of hers. I think she's a major contender in this race.
Vigilantes Way finished ahead of the 2 Chad horses in the Eatontown, but she had the better trip than both of them, and that's because she has the tactical speed to work out those good trips. She had the 2nd best trip in the race. The best trip went to the winner, Stolen Holiday, who went to the front and just dropped the anchor. Vigilantes Way sat the pocket, came out, was gaining on her, ran just fine, but I think the other 2 Chads might have run just as well.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. She did run well last time, though. She has the tactical speed, so you just feel like she'll get another good trip in this race. She also happens to really like Monmouth Park. She always shows up and runs well here. I mean, there are ways to really like her in this race, Dan. She's another one, though, who's not a great price on the line.
And she just might be another one of those late developing shug types that keep getting better and better with age and maturity. Core Values, the 8's just an underrated horse for Vicky Oliver. She's run 3 times this year. I thought her first race off the layoff was okay when finishing behind Fluffy Socks and an allowance. They tried to stretch her out to a mile and a half in the Bewitch. She ran just fine behind Warlike Goddess, who's very, very good. And last time out in the New York, it wasn't a big pace. I understand that Joel Rosario tried to get her into it, and she just flattened out.
Yeah, she did. I just feel like at the end of the day, Dan, the New York wasn't the right race for her. She didn't run horribly in there. She never looked like she was going to win either. I'm happy to give her a pass for that. I really liked her effort 2 starts back. I know that they were going longer. I don't mind them cutting her back in this race at all. I think she's really underrated.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for all the latest DRFTV video offerings. You're going for the price in here with Core Values.
Yeah, none of the shorter prices on the morning line in this race, and I guess we'll see how it all shakes out as far as the wagering goes, but none of the shorter prices really did that much for me. I know they're all good horses. I'm not terrified of any of them. I really like Core Values as a horse. I think she's going to get overlooked in this race.
I think of the Chad threesome, Flighty Lady might still be the 3rd choice in there, and she might be the speed. I'd like for her to be a female version of Tribuvon. Send her to the front and just let her feet rattle. I think she might be a decent enough price off that last race. I'll go with her in a wide open edition of the Matchmaker. Good luck.